So welcome back to my channel. This is Dom, and while the table was still set up from the big black powder game I put on for myself, I thought over the Christmas period I'm bound to have a few hours free. Let's have another game. So I've laid out my Bruce's in Ireland project. These are all the figures I've painted up over this year, over 2023, to represent the invasion of Ireland by Robert Bruce and his brother. Yeah, just laid all the troops out, and I'm just going to have a conventional battle. So you can see the Scots side is on this end. So you've got three units of Kerns. No, two units of Kerns there, another one there, with some Gallowglass at the back, some men-at-arms, some light cavalry, some archers, some dismounted men-at-arms, Scottish pike, some mounted knights, some peasants, slingers, some more Gallowglass there and there and there and there, and then another load of dismounted men-at-arms and some more Kerns out in the forest over there. Haven't worked out points. This is just literally pulled them out the box and thought, yeah, it looks fairly even, we'll give it a go. I think the Scots have a slightly larger force, but they've got a lot more light troops. So go across to the Anglo-Irish side. Over here we've got three commands again. Both sides have got three commands. We've got some Kerns out here, some Irish light cavalry, some heavy cavalry here, men-at-arms, Boniacs here, a small unit of crossbows, large unit of longbows, some dismounted knights, some slingers, little unit there. These are, what are these? I can't even see them. Hang on, let me get my glasses on. Dismounted men-at-arms, some mounted men-at-arms, some more Kerns there, some heavy cavalry here, slingers here, a couple of units of spearmen, a regular size one and a small unit, and some more Boniacs, and some more crossbows and another unit of Kerns. So there you go, you've got, yeah, looks a lot larger on the other side. The Scots have certainly got a lot more troops. There's probably more missile troops on this side, on the Anglo-Irish side, but hey, battles are never even, well, rarely even. So I'll have a game. I just left the train exactly as it had been from the Napoleonic game I played. I just removed the buildings, so the hill here is just now a wooded hill. The orchard's still there, and so is the river and the bridge, but the Hougoumont has disappeared from the centre of the table. Otherwise, you've got a wood over their far side there with some marshland out on the flank. Some hills here in the middle, some more hills here, and then the wooded area running up the flank. So there you go. I will dice to see who goes first and play it out. So I'm going to say all generals are 8 just for simplicity's sake, and I'm using Hail Caesar rules, but just with my my modifications for the period. So largely the same as the main book. So we'll start off with the first turn priority. The Scots throw a 5, the English throw a 1, so it'll be Scottish to start. I'll be back when they've moved. Right, that's Scots turn 1 finished. The right hand command here has just rushed forward 2 moves. They did a whole battalion order. The Kerns are in the woodland. They're not slowed by that. You've got the Gilgal here, and the men-at-arms there. Basically everything went 2 moves forward. Over here in the centre, so it's quite shine on this morning, bit of sun. The central command all move forward 3 turns. They're very keen to get to grips. You've got the pikemen, 2 pike blocks. You've got the small unit slingers, the men-at-arms, and some archers over there. Then the knights have kept behind and the peasants have stayed behind. So that was that. In fact, I think initially that battalion failed, but with the Bruce nearby, they re-rolled and passed. So that was that. Out here on this wing, you can see the Irish horse have rushed forward. They did 2 moves forward because they're only light cavalry. They get a 12-inch move and went into open order. And over here, everything else, I think got 2 moves from what I remember. Again, you got lots of cairns in the woods with some Gallowglass behind, and some more cairns here with some heavy cavalry backing them up. So that was the Scottish turn. No shooting because nothing was in range. Now let's have a look at the Anglo-Irish turn. You can see the out here on their right wing, basically you've got the cairns, the opposition cairns backed up by some Boniacs, and the spearmen move forward 2 moves. Actually no, I think they got 3 moves in the end. Yeah, it was definitely 2 moves forward. The slingers on the hill here were not slowed by the hedges. The spearmen certainly were, which is why the lines got a bit disrupted. Things didn't go quite according to plan in the centre for the Anglo-Irish command. The skirmish, the slinger unit here on just crossed over the bridge, 1 move, and then everything else was just going to advance as well. I could have done it as an entire battalion order, but I was trying to do some. I was trying to leave the cavalry behind, and I was debating what to do. So, in the end, I ordered the whole lot to move forward, and they failed. They've got the Marshal of Ireland with them, so they took a re-roll and that failed too. So they're not in right. Nothing moved in the centre apart from the slingers. Out here on the right, the longbow moved forward 1. In fact, the main line moved forward just 1 move. You've got archers out there on the wing. You've got some heavy cavalry. You've got Boniacs, some crossbowmen, and the longbow unit, all there just on the other side of the river. And then the oops, oh my goodness, this sun is unusual. There is a unit of light cavalry, trust me. In fact, let's move into the shadow. Move into the shadow. You can just see in the shine there a unit of light cavalry. They moved two moves forward and went into open order themselves, so they are also Irish light cavalry. Plenty of Irish on both sides. So we'll just see whether there's any shooting for the Anglo-Irish. They may have some range here, so be back in a second. So the longbow are not in range. Crossbows I don't think will be either. No. Slingers definitely not. So nothing in range. These cavalry that moved across, they have only got javelins, so that's only a 6-inch range, so they are definitely not in range. I'm playing on quite a large table. I'm playing a 6x8 table, 8 wide and 6 deep, so distances are going to be quite tricky to get hold of. Let me just double check. Slingers have 12-inch range in these rules, so I don't know whether they're in range. No, not quite. However, these crossbowmen here might do. They do indeed. They have a shot. So we have one lot of a small unit of crossbows, mercenary crossbows, who are going to fire at those open order Irish cavalry. Crossbow unit has 2 dice of firing. It will be firing as a 4. Targets in open order makes it a 5. It's over 12 inches, so that's 6s to hit. Rolls a 3 and a 2, so that's a miss. The bolts go wide. That's the end of turn 1 for both sides. I'll be back with the Scottish turn 2. Right, mixed bag for Scottish Irish turn 2. Out here on the left wing, tried to move the cavalry forward to get within javelin range of those slingers on the hill, but it failed. So that meant this whole command over here couldn't move. It's too far away from Bruce to allow a re-roll, so that was that. Out here on this wing, however, now these were a mixed bag. The initial move was a failure, but Edward Bruce is close enough that it allowed a re-roll, and basically they re-rolled past this time, got 3 moves. So you can see the kerns have moved up. Some have crossed the river and in the marsh over the other side of the river. The others are up against the ford, and all the Gallowglass have come rushing up behind to support the kern. So those archers are those light cavalry could well be up against it. In the centre command, the archers here went into skirmish and moved up, so they can fire at those slingers on the hill. The slingers from the central command also went into skirmish and moved forward, but then originally this pike block was going to move up behind that hill there just to avoid being shot at by the longbows, but failed. And since we'd used the re-roll already, that was the end of the Scottish turn. So shooting wise, out here, let's start on this wing over here. We've got the archers who are here firing at their opposite numbers over there. It's 12 inches. Actually, it's just beyond 12 inches, I think, if I got that right. Ugh. Just because it's going to be important for the return shooting. Yeah, it's just beyond 12 inches. Which is effective range for regular bows, -1 because they're firing at long range. Light infantry archers get 3 shots. Yeah, 3 shots needing 5s to hit. No, because the slingers haven't gone into skirmish yet, so 3 shots hitting on 5s. And that is 3 5s. Wow, 3 hits. So 3 saving rolls for the slingers. I don't think they've got much of a save from what I remember. They don't have any save at all, so they instantly... So they take 3 casualties. A unit like that can take 4. Remember, this is Hail Caesar. So they don't need to do any break test yet. There was no 6 in the throw, so just 3 losses, but that's pretty horrendous for the first shot. Over here in the middle, the small unit of slingers firing at 12 inches against the other slingers. Now they're not in skirmish either, so that's going to be 4s this time. They get 1 6, which is a hit. We know there's no saving rolls for skirmishers or for these little light infantry units, but they will have to do a break test because they took a 6 and they rolled a 5. So a 5 on a ranged attack against infantry is retreat disordered. Now if they were skirmishers, they would be break if shaken, otherwise retreat disordered. So they're not actually skirmishers yet because they haven't gone into skirmish formation, so they will just retreat with 1 loss and go disordered. Over here on this flank, now the light cavalry have gone into skirmish, so we've got 2 units of kerns firing their javelins. They get 3 shots, hitting on 5s because the cavalry in skirmish. First unit gets 1 5 and 1 6. Let me leave that there so I remember. And the other gets another 6. So that is 3 hits to save. Light cavalry are saving on a 6. They save one of them, so they take 2 losses. 2 losses, but they will have to do a break test because they took a 6. However, they rolled an 8. An 8 will be hold ground without penalty. So that is the end of the Scottish turn 2. I'll mark that up, retreat those slingers, and we'll come back with the Anglo-Irish turn 2. Right, Anglo-Irish turn, the right flank, the crossbow unit and the kerns just basically moved up slightly, so the crossbowmen are on the hill, still in a wooded area, so they'll get some kind of cover for that. The slingers that are on the hill have popped down into the lane, try and get some cover from all that fire that they were taking, and basically 2 of the Boniacs and the spearmen have just moved up. In the centre, well, this was a bit more exciting. The unit of kerns rushed forward to occupy this wooded area here. The heavy cavalry only got 1 move off, so basically have started to move through the sunken lane. The 2 units of heavy infantry, the halberdsmen and the men-at-arms, basically only got 1 move. These guys have got their feet wet in the river. These guys are still in a column, which could be nasty if those slingers decide to have a go at them. Obviously the small unit of slingers that had to retire last turn couldn't do anything this turn. It will lose its disorder at the end of the go, but it's not going to do anything, so I'll take it off. And then I did think long and hard at what to do over here. Oh, I haven't moved the general forward. So in the end, I have a tendency to be quite aggressive. People who watch my games, and I was very tempted to do something rash with those light cavalry. In the end, decided not to. They've stayed exactly where they are. They will try and put some javelin fire down. I moved up the crossbowmen to support them. The Boniacs moved up as well to hold this river. The cavalry moved up as well. And there's a unit of archers down here, kern archers. I asked them to go into skirmish and then advance 1 move, but they only got the 1 move, so they just went into skirmish, so they're still there. Right, so we might as well start with the shooting on this flank. Those skirmishing archers will fire at the kerns in the wood, in the marsh there. They are in skirmish formation, so it is a 5 to hit. Oh, it's beyond 12 inches, isn't it? Probably. Yeah. So 3 shots, needing 6s to hit. Oh, of course he chucks one off the end of the table, and that was a 6, but we'll re-roll it because it was off the table. So no hits there. The light cavalry will fire at the kerns in front of them. That will be 5s to hit because they are in skirmish formation. Nothing at all. Not going well. Then the crossbowmen here will fire at the opposition there. Under 12 inches, so they get 2 shots hitting on 5s. Get 1 hit. That is 1 kill because the kerns have a save of 6. Yeah, so they do get a saving roll, but they fail it, so that still is a casualty. Right, that's everything over on this flank. So into the centre, the longbow unit is going to fire at those kern slingers there. It's beyond 12 inches. They're a large unit, so it's 4 dice. We'll be hitting on a 6, however, because it's long range and a skirmish target. So 6 to hit, nothing at all. The slingers, javelin men are moved up. They will be hitting on 5s. Nothing at all. Crikey. Not a good round of shooting for the Anglo-Irish. Moving across. Over here on the right flank, the two, well, the small unit of slingers there will fire at the skirmishing light cavalry. Will be 5s to hit with 2 dice. They get a 6. That's useful. So cavalry will save on a 6, which they don't do, so it's a casualty. Plus it will be a break test for them. 6s in Hell Caesar or a break test. The crossbowmen on the hill will also fire at them. Would be 2 shots, hitting on 5s as well. Nothing. So I think that's all the shooting. So we'll do the break test for the light cavalry. 2 dice, they roll a 6. I think a 6 will be stay where you are. So a 6 is retreat disordered. So they will pull back. So the shooting had some effect. Right, we'll be back with the Scottish turn. Interesting. So it's been like Glasgow on a Friday night. Very aggressive Scots-Irish turn on turn 3. Attacked right across the board pretty much. Let's start on the right here. What happened? Well, first of all, it started like it was going to go very sour. The kerns that were in the ford here were ordered to move out into that marshy area there. They failed the first time. With a commander reroll, they managed to get I think they got 3 moves, so they're plenty okay, which cleared the route for a mass charge by the Gallowglass into the light cavalry. I haven't reacted with those yet. I mean, they've got no chance against a whole load of hairy-arsed Gallowglass, so they are going to evade. So to evade, you need to roll your command roll. They'll always do 1, but if they fail, if they blunder or what have you, oh, let's just roll the dice. So the command radius here is 8. They roll a 9, which fails. However, they always get 1 move. Yeah, so they always get 1 move, even when they fail. So they go way back here. They were in skirmish order. They're light cavalry against guys with 2-handed axes. That was just a non-entity as a match-up. Now, I've marked where the charge would have got forward, so they will continue to where they get to, which is there. Let's move this fella slightly, and it was a battalion order, so the whole lot just rolled forward. It's not a second rank, that's just there. So that's that finished. What else happened out here on this wing? What did happen here? That was it actually, because the guys, the kerns here in the marsh, were going to be ordered up to try and take on the skirmishing bowmen, but failed, which meant nothing else could manoeuvre here. So that was the end of the right hand command. Over here in the centre, oh crikey, what happened here? So first up, the pikemen, supported by the men-at-arms, did a charge on the kerns who were holding that hedge line. Now I've got to decide what to do with them. Do they stand up? No, there's no point in them standing and fighting. They're going to be fighting the pike, who have got supports from pike and men-at-arms and peasants. So no, they're going to evade. Other news over here, the archers moved up to try and fire at those heavy cavalry that are there. The slingers just moved slightly forward to be able to get some shots on the billmen, and the other pike and the peasants decided to move up to support behind. What else? The knights back here blundered, didn't blunder, they failed to move, so that was the end of the central command. Out here on the wing, basically everything here moved forward as a group. to get within shooting range of their opposite numbers. So you've got 3 units of Kerns lined up against 1 unit of Kerns and some crossbowmen on the hill there. They're backed up by some Boniacs, and the cavalry also move forward to support. The light cavalry couldn't go anywhere because they are disordered, so I'll take that disorder marker off now. So we do some shooting. Actually no, we do the evade for the Kerns, Anglo-Irish Kerns in the centre there. Yeah, they're just going to try and run for it. They passed with a 5, which is 3 turns. So the pikemen stop where they are because they would have hit that hedge line and stopped them. So, what else? Let's do the shooting. So actually no combat, despite the aggression of the Scots. So we've got 3 shots from there onto the skirmishing Kerns. Is going to be 3 shots needing would be 4s, but their obscured target is 5s to hit. Well, they get 1-6. Defending that, the Kerns would be a 6, but they get cover for the trees, so it's a 5. They take 1 wound and it will be a break test. Next one's a long. We'll also fight the same Kerns, I think. Crossbowmen are better saves. No, we're going to keep on the Kerns, because if we can take out the Kerns, we've got numerical superiority. So they're going to fire 3 shots at the Kerns. Again, it'll be 5s to hit. 3 4s, good grief. The Kerns here will fire at the crossbowmen. So it's 3 shots, again obscured because they're in the tree line, will be 5s to hit. 1 hit. The crossbow unit is a 4 save, but goes to a 3 because it gets cover. Oops, it's a cocked dice, how did I do that? That is a wound on them too. So we'll do the break test for the Kerns on the hill. They're just doing a straight break test for being shot at. A 7. That's absolutely fine. So 1 casualty on the Kerns here, and 1 on the crossbows. So that is that sorted. Moving across, no more shooting until the archers in the centre. They can't really see those guys because they're behind the hill, so they're going to have to fire at the men at arms. Will be 3 shots, hitting on a 5 because they will get cover. Oh, they really got it in for them. 2 6s and a 5 rolled on there. I'll move it where you can actually see it. There you go. 2 6s and 5. So the small unit of men at arms, or mounted sergeants rather, their armour is saving roll is 5. Should have been 4 for the crossbows. Sorry, it should have been a standard 5. Down to a 4 because of the cover. They still rolled a 1, so it didn't really matter. These mounted sergeants, they would save on a 5, get 1 for cover, so they're saving on a 4. They save 3, sorry, save 2, so that's 1 wound on the knights, but they will have to do a break test. I think that's all the shooting that will come their way, so we might as well do that now. They rolled a 9, so they're not bothered. Into the centre. Just note on the evade, the evaders don't fire. It's 2 completely separate reactions. Closing fire is 1 reaction and evade is another, so that's why they didn't shoot. So we've got the small unit of slingers will fire at the billmen who are coming down the road. Okay, so it's 2 shots hitting on a 4. They get a 6 and a 3, a 6 and a 2, so that's 1 hit. Now, men are sorry, the billmen would save on a 4, but they get -2 because they're in a column. So it is 6 to save, which they tried their best. They rolled a 5, so they take a loss. They will also need to do a break test. They roll a 5. A 5 on a break. retreat disordered. Ooh, that was a bit unfortunate for them. Moving across, so that was one casualty, wasn't it, and a retreat disorder. I'll do that in a minute. Over here we've got the Kerns will fire at the crossbowman. We'll get 3 shots hitting on a 4. That's 2 hits including a 6. The crossbowman saving on a 5, as I corrected myself. They save 1, lose 1. What is it? And the crossbowman will take a breaking test. They roll a 7, which for shooters, they're not skirmishers, so they hold their... Oh, right, 7 is hold your ground disordered or retreat in good order. I think they might as well retreat, because then they allow the Boniacs behind to come through. So I'll clear all that and come back with the Anglo-Irish turn 3. Right, mixed bag on the Anglo-Irish side of the table. Initial thing was the heavy cavalry here, the mounted sergeants here, did an initiative charge into the Gallowglass there. They'll just stand to receive it. The light cavalry that were behind formed up and have moved forward to support. Skirmishers can't support, so that's why I did that. Did think about bringing these archers up to support on the other flank, but in the end decided to leave them in skirmish, and they just move forward so they can fire at the Kerns. What else? The Gallowglass, sorry, Boniacs there just stayed exactly where they are because they can support that melee. And the crossbowmen, that, if you remember, had to retire, but they weren't disordered because they chose to retire rather than stand there, have moved back forward to there. That was where the good news finished on this part. Central Command tried to move the slingers back up to confront their opposition there. They failed, took a re-roll, that failed too. So that means nothing here will move, so I might as well take that disorder off because they're not going to play any part. Which meant the cavalry couldn't go anywhere, so they're just going to stand there in front. Oh, hang on, are they within? No, they're not within initiative, so they can't go anywhere. Out here on the right, a little bit more variety. So the small unit of spearmen that were behind have charged. They got 2 moves off and they've charged those archers. So I've just got to decide what to do with them. I think they're going to have to retire because although they're they are outnumbering and would get closing fire, they are skirmishers. So they're going to retire. They fail, but that means they get the 1 move away. Like that. Ooh. And these guys only had like an inch left to move, so that's as far as they get. So they're on the top of the hill there. Otherwise, over here, the Kerns didn't move any. Kerns there and the archer, crossbowmen there didn't move, and the slingers didn't move. The Boniacs were brought up to support, and I did want to try and charge the Kerns with the spearmen, but they failed. So that was as far as it gets. So we're on to shooting. The Kerns, whoops, in the forest here will fire at their opposite numbers. They're the closest targets. 3 shots hitting on 5 because they're an obscured target. Just the 1 hit. Save and roll would be 6, goes to 5 because they're in cover. Nope, they take a wound. So that's a wound on those fellas there. No tests or anything, which is good for them. Down here, the crossbowmen, I think they're going to fire at these Kerns here because they're not, well, yeah, technically their closest target's there, but they're obscured, so they don't have to fire at them. They could fire at those fellas down there because probably more than half the unit is not in cover. So we're going to do that. Fire 2 shots hitting on a 4. 4 get 1 hit. Save and roll will be 6, which they do not make. That's a wound on those fellas there. Oop. Moving across, the slingers here will fire 2 shots onto the slingers man in the hedge. That will be 5s to hit with 2 shots. They get 1 5 and a 2, so that's a failure. Save and roll will be 5 as well, which they save, so no losses there. Not much shooting in the centre, apart from these longbowmen who will fire at the well, their own real target now is that the slingers, they will get 4 shots. I think it might be closer range now, because before it was long range. Oops, ow. Of course, knock all the figures around so it screws up the ranges. So from centre of the unit, it's beyond 12. So it's 4 shots needing 6s because it's long range, which is -1, and minus another 1 because there's slingers that are in the skirmish order. 6s to hit. They get 1 6. Saving roll, no saving roll for slingers. So there's a loss on there. It is also a break. Oh no, but it won't be a break test because they needed 6 to hit, and if you need 6s to hit, you need to get 2 6s to get a break test. Did I do that earlier? I can't remember. So I've been playing this game over a couple of days. So I may be changing the rules as I go along. Showing me something new, hey? These crossbowmen will fire at the cairns in the marsh there. That'll be 2 shots hitting on 5s because they're obscured. That's 2 hits, including a 6. They would be saving on a 6. They get cover, so it's a 5. They don't save either, so it's 2 losses on those cairns. They will also need a break test. No more shooting coming their way, so I might as well do that now. A 9 is absolutely fine, no worries there. The only other shooting is here. Longbow will, not longbow, just regular archers. It's too really early for proper longbows. They'll fire 3 shots at the cairns in the marsh. It will be, they moved up to be within 12 inches, so it'll be 5s to hit. They get 1 6, that's a hit. The cairns save on a 5. They save it, but they still need a break test. And they rolled a 9, so that is fine. So, we've got some hand-to-hand. Right then, so this charge here, the mounted knights, mounted sergeants, sorry, get 8 dice. They are the ready coloured dice. And the Gallowglass standing to receive also get 8 dice. Now the Gallowglass would have Wild Fighter, but I think that only applies if you charge. I'll need to check that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So they didn't charge because they had to receive the cavalry charge. They do have 2-handed axes, however, which will reduce the saving roll for the knights. Sergeants themselves have lances, which when they charge also reduces the saving roll on the Gallowglass, so this could get really bloody very quickly. Also, support wise, the Gallowglass will get support from behind, which is 2 dice from those fellas, and the sergeants will get support from the light cavalry, which is 3 dice. I'm running out of dice, so I have to owe them 1. What else? Oh no, there is another dice, there you go. And also, I guess these Boniacs could support as well. It has to be within 3 inches, which is what they are. So it's an additional 2 dice. I'll do them afterwards. Right, so we'll start with the mounted sergeants. They get their 8 dice, 2, 4, 6, 8, just checking I got that right. 8 dice hitting on 3s because they charged. That's pretty useful. 2, 4, 6 hits. They also get the support from 5 dice from Boniacs and also from their light cavalry brethren. They are hitting on 4s. Another 3 hits. So it's a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 hits on the Gallowglass. Gallowglass themselves get their 8 dice plus their support of 2, gives them 10 dice. They will be hitting on 4s. Ooh, only the 3 hits. Let me just double check the wild charge. Alright, good thing I checked that. They are wild fighters, which means they re-roll all their misses. However, rather stupidly, I rolled everything together, and so I'm going to say one of the misses was from the supports, so we'll take them off. So it means we get 2, 4, 6 re-rolls, needing 4s again. And slightly better, they get another 3 hits. So they hit with 6. Now, two-handed axes caps the save of the opposition at 5. So the mounted sergeants would have had... Oh, still a 5, whatever they... So it doesn't make any difference. Two-handed axe doesn't do much. It's better against heavy armoured troops. So the mounted sergeants will be saving on 5s. They only saved the 1. Ouch. So 2, 4, 5 losses. The Gallowglass suffered a lot more. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 hits. Lance reduces their armour by 1. They would be saving on 4, so they are saving on 5s as well. And they save just 2 themselves. I told you it was going to be bloody. So, let's even these out. Take the casualties away. Even them up. Which means the upshot of that is that the sergeants win by 2. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 losses on the Gallowglass, which means they are shaken and 1 over their total. I'll just put the 1 down so I remember it's 1 over. They are shaken as a result of the combat. And they lose the melee. The knights themselves lose 2, 4, 5 casualties themselves. So they are 1 off. So they have 1 remaining stamina. 2, 4, 5. So it's a break test at -1 for the Gallowglass. And they rolled a double 1. Oh my goodness, I don't need to look that one up. They have broken. Been destroyed. I've just realised those weren't Gallowglass. Those were sergeants. So I'll swap them out and say that those were the sergeants were at the back. so focused on the fact they were Gallowglass and they weren't. So they're dead, basically, and broken. Sorry boys, you didn't even fight, but you did die. Now the supports will also need to do a break test of the Gallowglass that were behind. They've rolled a 9, so they should stay exactly where they are. That was all that was savable. The cavalry, now they can pursue. They've destroyed their opposition, but they are on 5 casualties. Do they pursue straight into those boys behind? I think they've got, well, they're going to lose. They're going to be killed as a unit. But the problem, what they might do is do enough damage to this unit. I think they've got to try. They've got to try. That's their role. So they're going to continue the charge bravely on. smashing into the supports. So I think we fight that straight away. Again, the charging knights get 8 dice. 6, 8. They will not this time have any supports, so that's one advantage for the defenders. The defenders have these are definitely Gallowglass. I've just double checked. I put my glasses on now. They get 8 dice themselves. Now they will get support from the dismounted sergeants behind them, who give them 3 dice. And what else we got? And I think they'll probably also get support from these kerns. Oh no, they're in skirmish, so that's it. So let's start with the Gallowglass. We'll leave the supporters out because they do not have the 2-handed axes and they do not have wild charge, or whatever it's called. So we'll roll for them. They're needing 4s. It's pretty tasty. That's 5 hits. Re-roll the others. They all hit, all 8 hits. And their supports, also hitting on 4s, they get 2 as well. Let's just swap that over so I don't confuse myself. So that's a whacking load of hits. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 hits. In return, the 8 mounted sergeants go in. They will be hitting on 3s. That wasn't. They're obviously tired. Wasn't their best. Just 3. Lots of 1s. Lots of 1s. So just 3 hits. So we'll save those first of all. The Gallowglass would be saving on 4, but they lose 1 for being hit by lancers. So they're 5s to save. They do not save any, so there's 3 losses. The supports hitting the knights, or sergeants, sorry, they no, it doesn't matter. They're all saving on 5 because 2-handed axes cap at 5, and that's the maximum armor they have anyway. So 5s to save for the sergeants. Can they try and pull something out the bag? No is the answer. They saved 2. Which means they lost 2, 4, 6, 8 hits. Wow. So they definitely lost the combat. They are definitely shaken. They only had 1 left anyway, so it means they're 7 over. So they're rolling at -7 on the dice. Can they pull a miracle? They rolled pretty well. That's a 9, but that means they are destroyed. They rout. Probably a bit stupid to carry on, but I thought their roll over here on this flank was really just to slow up the opposition. I thought if they could put significant losses on their Gallowglass, then they're doing their job. But they didn't. So it's... Oh, I'll just take them off there. 3 losses on the Gallowglass, but they have beaten off the heavy cavalry. And that is the end. So we don't need to... They weren't supported, so there's no new break tests. That's the end of turn 3. So both sides lost a unit. I think the Anglo-Irish probably going to be more concerned about that loss than the Scots at the moment. Right, we'll be back with Scottish turn 4, I think it is. Right, the Scots are trying to continue to push their advantage. Up here on the left, they've charged their opposite kerns. Both are in skirmish, but skirmishers can charge skirmishers, and they are backed up by the Boniacs behind them. I'm debating what to do there. I think the sensible thing, the Anglo-Irish kerns could just stand and fire to receive the charge, or they could evade. If they evade, they'll keep themselves intact, but their own Boniacs are going to be facing some shooting. I think that's what they've got to do. They're going to evade. So we'll roll for them. They pass with one move. So they'll go all the way back here. Because they're in open order, they can evade. Take them casualty marker. Now these had enough move to hit the Boniacs behind, but they can't because they're skirmish troops. So they'll stop about an inch away, supported by their own heavier brethren. And that is that. We'll put the trees back so remember that's wooded. Over here, whoops. Let's see what the camera can see, so let's have a look. Over here in the other side, basically the kerns that were up there dropped back behind the hedge line. The other ones have moved along the hedge line so they can just basically try and pepper the opposition. Their light cavalry formed up and moved forward to try and provide some support. The heavy cavalry, the sergeants here, didn't manage to do anything, and I wasn't really sure what to do with them anyway. In the centre, it's all happening here in the centre. Well, it sort of is. So first of all, the dismounted sergeants, men-at-arms, charged the guys on the hill. Don't know whether that's a sensible move or not. It's a smaller unit, it's not as effective, but it is uphill, so we'll see. And the knights that had been dallying back finally got their gander up and launched a charge. Well, yeah, they launched 3 moves. I said if they could hit the guys in the lane, they would, and they rolled 3 moves, which meant they could. So the English sergeants have countercharged. But that's pretty much everything else that happened here, because the what was planned? Oh, the slingers here were going to move into the orchard, but failed, and I had already used the reroll, so that is the end of that's the end of their turn, which meant the pike and everything have stayed still again. Moving across here, however, oh, this is messy. Right, let me try and talk you through what happened. I forget which phase the reroll came, but they used the reroll over here. So the Gallowglass that were left here did initiative charge into the light cavalry. Now the light cavalry because they'd formed up, they were close order again, so they had to countercharge. So they've countercharged. So that's what's going on there. The Scots are backed up by some dismounted sergeants. The kerns here just moved forward again in skirmish. I didn't form them up. I thought about it to provide support, but in the end I thought I wouldn't. The guys that were all in this marshy area, the kerns at front moved across there. Oh, that's where the reroll came. Yeah, they moved across there to clear the space for the 2 Gallowglass units to rush forward. They tried to charge these. They only got 2 moves, and with the difficult terrain, because these aren't loose order, meant they only got there, so they're about an inch away from their opposite numbers. And that is it. So we've got a combat here, we've got a couple of combats in the centre, and we've got a whole load of action across the board. Right then, shooting. I've come over to the Anglo-Irish side of the table because it's closer to the action. So we'll start with the kerns that are here. They'll fire at the crossbowmen on the hill. It's 3 shots hitting on 5s because of obscured target. They get 1 hit. The crossbowman would be saving on a 4. Should remember this. I've done it a few times. No, 5 goes to 4. Oh. Let's roll 1 dice because it's only 1 hit. They've saved. The next unit over, these kerns will fire at the slingers. They are 3 shots. I'm going to give neither cover because they're basically fighting over the same bit of hedge, but they are both in skirmish, so they are both hitting on 5s. So 5s to hit for these javelin men. They get a 5 and a 6. The Kern, ooh, actually maybe I've diddled them. The slingers don't have any saving rolls, so that's 2 losses on them straight off the bat, because now they don't have any cover. I don't think they, oh, they've already got some 3 shots on them already, so that may shake them. I don't think they should get cover, because to me they're both fighting the same hedge. So either, should I just say they both get benefit? Maybe I should do that. Both get benefit. So they get save of 6. They don't save either anyway. So they now have 5 casualties. Small crossbow unit only has a stamina of 4, so they're 1 over. So they are shaken. And then we'll need to do a break test. I don't think they've got any other shooting, so I might as well do that now. They've rolled a 9, which goes to an 8. Retreat disorder is the result. So they will pull back, basically clearing the way for the big boys to get fighting. And they will go back down to 4 casualties. Ow. Those are spikes are still up. That's all the shooting there. Might as well do the combat while we're here in the middle, because there's no other shooting along. Yeah, because the archers at the back there haven't got any viable target. So we'll do the hand-to-hand. This could be interesting. I genuinely don't know what the outcome will be here. So we've got the dismounted men at arms. They get 7 dice. The spearmen receiving them will get 4 dice, I think. Yeah, 4 dice. Oops. Because they're a small unit. They would get 6 if they were a decent sized unit. Oh, it should be just 1 off, shouldn't it? Because it's a small unit. So they get 5 dice. The attackers will be hitting on 3s. There's no supports involved. So the attackers will be hitting on 3s. But what does uphill count as? So the +1 goes to the side that are fighting uphill. So we'll come to that in a minute. So both sides basically will be hitting on 3s, because the spearmen get +1 for being uphill. So we'll roll all the dice. Let's see what we get. Of course, you managed to land one right on top of each other. Let me just move the thing back and you can hopefully see what's going on. Right, so 3s to hit. So the pinkies are the Scots. So it looks like 4 hits for them. And all 5 of the spearmen hit. Okay. The spearmen have a saving roll of 5. So 4 hits. I don't think those... Oh, they're tough fighter as well, so they get 1 reroll, which they get another one. So it's 5 hits on the men at arm, on the dismounted sergeant. It's 5 hits on the spearmen then. They would be saving on a 5. They only save 1. So that's 4 hits on the spearmen. And the spearmen got 5 hits on the men at arms. Men at arms have a saving roll of 4, which they save 3 of. So 2 casualties on the Scots, 4 on the spearmen. 2 on the dismounted men at arms. The spearmen have a break stamina of 4, so they are shaken, which is not so good for them. They also lost the melee by 2, so they're doing a break test at straight, because although they're shaken, that's not a negative. So we roll for that. They rolled an 8. An 8 in hand to hand. Hold your ground without penalty. So that will continue next round. So that's that. The next combat along is the mounted sergeants against the knights. It's only a small unit of knights, so that gives them a harder fight. They still get 7 dice. 2, 4, 6, 7. They're armed with a lance as well. The mounted sergeants get 8 dice because they're a regular size unit. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. The men at arms are tough fighters, stubborn, valiant, so they will hit on a 3 because they're charging. They got 1 miss there, that's all. So they're a tough fighter, we'll re-roll that. They get all hits, all 7 hits. The mounted sergeants get 8 dice hitting on 3s. Not so good. Still not bad, but whoops. They get 4 hits. So saving rolls for the mounted men at arms, it would be a 4, but because of the lance on the sergeants goes down to a 5. Is 2 saved and 1 lost. So two casualties on the men at arms and 7 hits on the sergeants. Now they would have a save of 5, but it goes down to 6. They only save 1. So the knights have ripped through. Yeah. The knights have ripped through the sergeants. So 6 casualties on the sergeants, instantly shakes them. They lose the combat by 4, and it's 2 casualties on the knights. The Scottish knights win, obviously. It's a break test for the English sergeants. They rolled an 8. Hold your ground without penalty, so they stay locked in. However, the knights have firmly won that melee, and their opposition is tired. Right, I'll put a dice by that one because otherwise I'm going to run out of markers. Okay, interesting. So that's both combats gone the way of the Scots. If only they could have got the pikemen moving as well, it could have been very interesting. Right, moving across, the Scottish slingers here, they'll have to fire at the longbow over here. Just 2 shots, assuming they're in range. Yep, they are. 2 shots hitting on a 4. It's 1 hit. The longbowmen are saving on a 5, which they don't, so they lose a man as well. The the Kerns there will fire at the crossbowmen. That's 3 shots hitting on a 4. 2 hits and 2 6s out of that. Save and roll for the Crossbowmen will be 5s. They save one, lose one, but it is a break test for them. They break test. Ooh, a 4. That's not good. It's not good at all. 4 for infantry is break if shaken, otherwise retreat disordered. Okay, not quite as disastrous as I thought that was going to be. They've not had much luck, these crossbowmen. They keep getting pushed away. So they run away, back to there, and they are disordered. Right. Oops. And then there's no more shooting here. I'll do the shooting here on the flank first. So 3 shots from the Kerns. They will fire at their opposite numbers here with bows. They will need 5s to hit. It's 1 hit and it's a 6. So these don't have any saving rolls, I don't think. So that's instantly a wound. They will also do break test. They rolled it even worse than the crossbowmen. They rolled a 3. Skirmishers break. So they didn't like being shot at, and they have run. That is the 2nd unit in this command that's broken. Not good at all. So the combat here. The light cavalry that are charged, 6 dice. They can probably get support from these Bonyaks here. Gives them 2 more dice. 8 dice. The Gallowglass who charged, they get 8 dice, isn't it? Yeah, 8 dice. 2, 4, 6, 8. Plus they'll get supports from those and those, which add 2 more each. So it's another 4 dice into the mix. We'll do them separately. I think this command over here is in real trouble. For the English anyway. So we'll start with the English light cavalry. They get 6 dice. They'll be hitting on 3s. Well, they tried their best. That's 4 hits. 4 hits plus they're supporting 2. Gives them 2 more. So they've tried their best. They've done 6 hits. The Gallowglass, first of all, they get 8 dice. Also hitting on 3s because they charged. Missed with 2, but they are wild fighters, so they get to re-roll those 2, and they get 1 more. So that's 7 hits, plus their 4 supports will be hitting on 4s. Just 2 more. So I'll put them separately. Right. Nothing on this side has got any special weapons, so the Gallowglass will be saving 6 saves of 4. Exactly 50-50, so they take 3 losses. Mark that there. The light cavalry, they took 7 hits, 2, 4, 7 hits from the axemen. It doesn't really matter because that just caps them at 5, and they haven't got. They've only got 5 saving roll anyway. In fact, they've only got 6. Yeah, only 6 saving roll. So we'll roll all their losses in one go. Ooh, just 2 saved. So they lost 2, 4, 6, 7. They lost 7 casualties. So, upshot of that is that the Gallowglass themselves go shaken because they already had 3 losses. They got another 3. But they did win the combat, and the cavalry already had 2 losses, so they were on 7, goes up to 9 casualties in total. Their stamina is 6, I think. Yeah, 6. So they have lost, they're 3 over and they're shaken. So -3 on their break test. They rolled a 7. Which goes down to a 4. Break if shaken, otherwise give ground disordered. They're shaken because of the combat, so they have gone. It's all gone horribly wrong on this flank for the Anglo-Irish. Maybe too aggressive. Maybe just the fact that the Irish have been, the Scots have been so aggressive themselves, they haven't really had much choice. Okay, so that's another unit down. The Gallowglass, who won the melee, can't pursue because they are shaken. What does this mean on this flank at the moment for the Anglo-Irish? They have 1, 2 units. That's all they've got left. Oops. Let's move my camera back so you can see. They've got the crossbowmen here and their Boniacs, or their Gallowglass there. That's all they've got left, because the cavalry have gone. Both lots of cavalry have gone. So have the archers. So that is a broken command. So the Anglo-Irish right flank has gone. Sorry, left flank has gone. Broken command. That is a disaster. That could be game. But I'll play it on. We'll see what happens. We'll come back with the response from the Anglo-Irish. So Anglo-Irish turn. Well, it looks like they're up against it, frankly, with their left flank gone. And looking at them, I may have been a little unfair in the allocation of troops as well. So anyway, never mind. The Boniacs here on the right flank charged the Kerns that were in front. They retired, and therefore they've hit the opposition Boniacs behind. So we've got contact there. Over here, the Kerns that were here, well, actually they were way back under the camera, moved up and they're now lining the other side of the hedge against the opposition Kerns. Oh, forgotten to do one move. Just bear with me. I diced for it, but I forgot to move them. Sorry, forgot to move the. I diced for it, but didn't actually move them. So the larger unit of spearmen that was here in the road have moved up to support their smaller unit there that's up against it, against the Scottish Knights. Below here you can see the commander's flag. He's joined the slingers that have been shaken and rallied off one of those. So they will be back in action next turn. What else we got here? Really difficult to know what to do on the left and centre for the Anglo-Irish. And I did it a bit, and that was probably reflected by the dice rolls as they came out. So first of all, let's see what did happen first of all. The men-at-arms that were over here across the river have moved across to be ready just in case the sergeants break against those knights, at least defending the hedge. They've got a good chance against the Scottish knights if they come piling through. The Kerns that had previously fallen back rushed back forward to oppose the skirmishers and try and slow up that mass of pikemen. Archers didn't move because I dithered. These are the Mortimer's billmen. They were in the column on the road that had to fall back last turn, so they've basically headed over here onto the hill. They got 2 moves, so they were able to get there, and the slingers have moved out in front of them. Out here on the left, that's all that's left of that command. The crossbowmen have retired off the table, and these are the Gallowglass that are basically routing off the table. Everything else has gone of the left wing entirely. As I say, I did it a bit. The longbowmen failed their move. I'd already used the reroll, which meant the knights couldn't do anything, so they're still sitting here wondering. do we just head back off to Dublin and leave them to it? So let's do some shooting first of all. I've got 2 shots from the slingers. They'll probably have to fire at those kerns there. That's going to be... actually, can they? They could ignore the kerns. Move that tree out of the way. I think they're going to fire a choosy shot at the Gallowglass there, because they can ignore the kerns because they're open order. So they'll fire at those guys there. 2 shots. It will be hitting on a 4. It's 2 hits. They are saving on 4s. Save 1, lost 1. So that will be a break test for them. They're already shaken. They're now 1 over their break. Let's roll it now while we're here. An 8, which brings it down to a 7. No, they're not disordered. Oh yeah, it brings it down to a 7 because they're 1 over. 7 for infantry. Hold your ground disordered or retreat in good order. Well, I think they're going to retreat because we could do with just getting them out of the way, really. So they will fall back through. They'll be slowed by the river. Let's just move the general to there. And they'll slip to there. And they'll return to 6 casualties. Alright. The longbowmen. What to do with them? Well, really their only shot is against the enemy kerns there, so they're going to put 4 shots on those. We'll be hitting on 5s because they're open order. Crikey, just the 1 hit. 6 to save, which they do not save. So they're up to 3 casualties. Longbowmen have not been very effective. As I find in this period for some reason. I know the longbow was not as devastating, so in the earlier period. So we've got kerns firing there. 3 shots will be hitting on 5s because they're open order target. It's 1 hit and it is a disordering hit. So got confused. It's a break test on those because it was a 6 against them. They rolled a 10. Just about to see that 10, so they're fine. Moving across, we'll come back with the combats in a minute. We've got these guys firing on the kerns. I'm going to rule that neither get the benefit of... Oh no, I changed it last time, didn't I? I said both get benefit cover. So they are going to be hitting on... Just checking if there's a close range. There isn't. So they're going to be hitting on 5s. 3 3s. Well, that's pretty lousy. Crossbowmen here. Probably have to fire at the other guys, the other kerns there, with 2 shots hitting on 5s as well. It's 1 hit. They need 6s, which they rolled, so they survive. So combats. We've got the Boniacs against the Boniacs here in the woods. So, both get 7 dice. So, the Anglo-Irish are charging, so they get 7 dice. They will be hitting on 3s. So they got 4 hits. The Scottish Boniacs will be saving on 5 because they're being hit by 2-handed axes, and that caps their save at 5. So they take 3 losses. 7 dice back from the Scottish Boniacs. They are hitting on 4s because they had to stand to receive the charge. They take 4 hits, or they give 4 hits, sorry. And the Anglo-Irish will be saving on 5s as well. They save 1. So actually it's 3 plays 3. The English side get, or the Anglos get, support from the small unit of crossbow. So that's 2 shots at 4s, sorry. That's 2 6s. So the Boniacs can save that at their full armour, which is 4. Save 1, lost 1. So the support means that the Scottish Boniacs lose to the Anglo-Irish Boniacs. God, it's confusing. Only by 1. They now move to... Oh, that's all the points they've got. So they've got 4 wounds. The Anglo-Irish have got 3 wounds. So it's a break test for the Scots at evens. I rolled a 5, that's not great. 5 on hand to hand. Hold your ground disordered or retreat in good order. I think they're better off retreating in good order because it's their turn coming, and to be disordered they're going to get mullered next go, so they're going to retreat. You've got pop just behind their cairns here, which also means the Anglo-Irish can't follow up into them because they're not allowed to convert charge into the new target, so that's probably for the best. The Anglo-Irish don't really do anything, they just stay exactly where they are. So we've also got these combats going on here. We've got the shaken small unit of men-at-arms or spearmen who will be fighting a second round against the Scottish men-at-arms, dismounted men-at-arms. The Scottish men-at-arms will fight with 7 dice. It's sustained values now because it's second round, which has still got 7 dice. They will be hitting on 3s because they're following up. Oh, that wasn't so good. Only 3 hits. So they got just 3 wounds. That's all they got, which is not good for them. They are... Oh, they're tough fighters, however, so they get a re-roll, which still misses. So they still only get 3 hits. The men-at-arms... Sorry, the spearmen get 5 hits, but they are hitting at... Well, it would be 4. Would go to 5 because they're shaken, but it goes back to 4 again because they're uphill. Could they... Oh, I was going to say, could they miraculously turn this around? But they managed to roll 3 1s and just 2 hits from the spearmen. So the Scottish Knights, or men-at-arms, saving on 4s. They saved both of those. And the spearmen have 3 hits to save, saving on 5s. And they don't save any of them, so that's 3 losses. So it's 3-0. The spearmen, however, can support the new unit that's moved up, which gives them 3 dice. They're probably going to regret this moving up, but here you go. 3 hitting on 4s. They get 2 hits from that. Can they convert one of these onto these Scots? They can convert 2. Well, that was pretty good. So the support from behind actually helped considerably. Put 2 wounds on the Scottish Knights. Dismounted Knights. Doesn't do enough to shake them, however. Puts them on 4 wounds. But it still means the smaller unit has to take a break test at minus... it's shaken. And no, nothing for shaken, it's only disordered, so it's only -3. Only -3. Rolls a 6, so that becomes a 3, so they have broken. So that is them finished. The supporting troops will need to take a break test. They rolled a 7. Hold your ground disordered or retreat in good order. Oh, that's tricky. That is really tricky. Do you stay there and try and fight it out? You're not going to have uphill advantage anymore, but you'll be disordered. I think they've got to fall back. So they will fall back here. They're slowed up by the hedge at least, so that they're no longer disordered, or they're not disordered. I think that's the only thing they could do there. So, not great news for the Anglo-Irish in this flank either. Meanwhile, we've got the 2 cavalry going at it. So we've got the mounted sergeants who were defeated last go. They're now on a sustain of 5. They will be hitting on, they're shaken, and it's second round, so they're hitting on 5s. 1 hit. 1 hit on the Scots. Scots will be saving now, no minus anymore because lances only count in the charge, so they'll be saving on 4s, which they don't save, so 1 loss on the Scots. The Scottish Knights have a stain of 4 because they're a small unit, remember. They're hitting on 3s because they won last round, so they get 2 hits, but they're also tough fighter, so they get 1 reroll. No, 2 hits. The sergeants are saving on a 5. That's a cocked dice. They take 2 losses. So they are defeated by 2 to 1. The Knights are now up to 3 losses. The sergeants are on 8 losses, so the sergeants need to do a break test at -2. They rolled a 10, which goes to an 8. Cavalry hold your ground without penalty, so we keep fighting it out. Wow. Well, they're showing some durability. I am somewhat surprised by that. So that is the end of the Anglo-Irish turn, whatever it is. Well, they managed to sort of hold the line there for a minute. It was looking very dicey. I thought that was finished there. I thought both those units were going to get defeated. But it's still looking a little bit nervy because there's a lot of angry Scottish-Irish troops coming down the right flank and the centre. There's still quite a few on this flank too, so yeah, they probably are up against it. Right, we'll carry on with the Scottish turn and see where we go with that. Right then, this doesn't look good at all for the Anglo-Irish. A very aggressive phase from the Scots, taking advantage of everything all the advantages they've got, frankly. So over here on, I'm obviously on the Irish side because it's easier to reach. This is the Scottish right flank. What happened? The Gallowglass that were here basically charged straight into the longbow, supported by another unit of Gallowglass. The foot sergeants that were over here have charged into the slingers, and the kerns that were behind have come in to support the foot sergeants. The other unit of kerns tried to come around here but couldn't make it, only got 1 move off. In the distance on the ford you can see their officer their commander has moved to rally off a shock off those Gallowglass, so they're no longer shaken. Still heavily wounded, however. So here we'll do, I think these guys will have to evade. There's nothing else to be done. They can't go up against foot knights. They pass their check, get 1 move, so basically they'll come back here away from their foe. Here, I might as well do this while I'm here. The bowmen will fire at the charging Gallowglass. They really could do with a disorder to stand any chance against them. Closing shots are at -1. So it's going to be 4 dice hitting on 5s. They do not get the 6 they needed. Only 1 hit. There, his archers have been terrible this game. They're saving on a 4, and they save it, so no casualties at all. So they smash home. In the centre area, what happened? The slingers that were in front of the pike moved across. Now they had to do -1 proximity to get it, because they were moving away from the closest target. But they still managed to get 3 moves off, so they've come across here to support this melee, and the pikemen charged the kerns. Now the kerns, again, I think they're going to have to run for it, nothing else to be done, so they actually get 3 turns off, so they'll come way back, and that is it. Coming over to the other side of the table, so nothing much happened here. The foot sergeants that were here on the hill that beat the spearmen first round have basically continued charging down into this larger block of spearmen on the road. There's a bit of a risk there, because this is a fresh unit and they've already got 4 wounds, but got to keep the pressure on, I think. And the archers moved up to support the knights, so now the knights have got 2 supporting units, which hopefully will put enough casualties on those sergeants to finish them off. Not quite so successful elsewhere. The kerns moved up to fire on the boniacs on the hill. The kerns here on the hedge line have now charged into contact with these ones, supported by their friends. So the Anglo-Irish kerns are going to stand and fight. They will shoot, needing 5s, because closing fire in Hell Caesar is -1 to hit. They've rolled 3 2s, good grief. So nothing there. That's where the success came to an end for the Scots. The small unit of mounted sergeants at the back there were going to try and charge the crossbowmen, but failed, which meant I couldn't do anything with the light cavalry. They were going to move up to support, well, try and support one of these combats. Probably in range to support that one anyway, to be fair. But that's it. So we got some. I don't think we've got an awful lot of shooting, to be fair. The kerns on the hill will shoot. They get 3 dice firing at the boniacs, which will be, they're obscured because they're in the trees, so 5s to hit. 1 hit on the boniacs, 4s to save. Actually goes to 3s to save because they're in cover. They saved, so no effect there. The javelin in there, I think they're out of range. Yeah, just about. And then anyway, they'll be supporting that combat. The archers who moved up, I don't think they can see anything to shoot at. The slingers will fire 2 shots onto these boys here. Actually, I don't think they can, because they're supporting the melee. They won't be. They need to shoot in the melee. They can't shoot any other time. So I think that's all the shooting there is. So we've got a lot of combats to do. Where should we start? We'll start with the... Oh, since I'm on this flank, let's start over here. We've got the kerns against the kerns. So, kerns have 5 dice each. So the pink dice are the English, the red dice are the Scots. The Scots will be needing 4s, sorry, 3s. The Irish will be needing 4s. So that's 4 hits. Ooh, 4 versus 2. So the Anglo-Irish take 4 hits. They will get a bit of cover there, so it means they're saving on 5s. Oh, that was pretty good. Saved 2, only lost 2. The Anglo-Irish sorry, the Anglo-Scots took 2 hits, they'll be saving on 6s. They don't save any. Now they do get support of 3, so 3 on support will be hitting on 4s. Nothing at all. So that ends up evens on both sides. Evens on both sides. That's kind of goes with the territory, doesn't it, Tom? Yeah, 2 losses on each. And honours even. The hedging helped the defenders, as you'd expect, to be fair. So that was that. No need for any break tests because nobody is shaken. Here we've got the foot sergeants, footmen at arms rather, who have 7 dice. 2, 4, 6, 7. They will be hitting on 3s. Sorry, bash the camera. And they are tough fighters. So they've missed with 2 so far. So that's 5 hits. Plus the reroll for the tough fighter gives them another one. 6 hits. The English spearman, who gets 6 dice back, they will be hitting on 4s. Pretty good. 4 hits from them as well. So the Scots take 4 hits. They're saving on a 4. They save 2, so they take 2 losses, which will shake them. The English take 5 hits, no, 6 hits, sorry. They will be saving on a 5. They only save 1, so they take 5 hits. So 2 hits on the dismounted men at arms. They are therefore shaken. But they did win the combat by 3. So the spearmen need to do a break test at -3. Well, they rolled an 11 though. That's pretty good. So an 11 goes down to an 8, which will be hold your ground without penalty. So that's a result for the spearmen. It is a win for the men at arms, but they're they've shot their bolt, so to speak. Right, but then I suppose if they can clear that spearman out the way, then opens up the hole for the light cavalry to come charging through. The knights over here, now this is the ongoing struggle that is that battle. Mounted knights only have a sustained value of 4 because they get tired very quickly. They won the last melee, so they are hitting on 3s. They are also tough fighters, so they hit with 2. Nope, still only 2. Keep those. They've also got supports from the archers here, which I think are 3. No, yep, 3. We'll be hitting on 4s. Nothing at all. And the slingers on the other side get 2 support from there, hitting on 4s. Do nothing either. So absolutely no point in the supports whatsoever. The sergeants got 2 hits. They are saving on 5s. They don't save either, so it's 2 losses on those. They fight back, however. They've got 5 sustained. They will be hitting on 5 because they're shaken. 2 hits as well. The knights have an armour save of 4. That's a cocked dice. They save 1 and lose 1. So the knights are now up to 4 casualties, which is their stamina, so they are shaken. However, they beat the sergeants and are now 2 over. They're now 2 over their shock, So they're doing a break test at -2. They rolled a 7, which goes down to a 5. Cavalry retreat disordered. So they retreat backwards. So I think the cavalry, the knights rather, because they won, they will retire. Basically to try and recover from their exertions. So they're going to pull back. So there. Which they can do as part of their win. So onto this combat here, we've got the longbowmen who only get 5 dice in combat. Oh, they'll get 6 because they're a large unit. Sorry, 6 dice because they're a large unit. The kerns coming in on them get 7 dice. Sorry, not kerns. The Gallowglass coming in actually get 8 dice. They are evil, evil buggers. So the English will be hitting on 4s. They get 3 hits. And the Gallowglass will be hitting on 3s. They also have Wild Fighter, so they get to Wild Fighter allows them to re-roll any misses in the first round. So they've got just 1 miss. That's all they got, and they still get 1 miss. So we have 2, 4, 6, 7 hits on the English longbowmen. They've the Scots got 2-handed axes, but that basically caps the save and roll at 5. Longbow have a save of 5 anyway, so 5's to save. They save 2. Whoops. But they take 5 hits. They already had 1, so that pushes them up to 6. That would shake them, but they're a large unit, so they're okay for the moment. The Gallowglass take 3 hits. They have an armor saving of 4. They save 2 of them, so they only lose 1. So that's not a great result. The English lose by 4. Oh, plus there's more here to put in. I could put the there's support from these men at arms here for the Scots. 3 at 4. 2 more hits on the English, saving on 5s. No, didn't save them either. So now they are definitely shaken. They're 2 over their break test. They lost the combat by oh gosh, what did they lose it by? They're on 8. They lost by 7. Yeah, they lost by 7. They can't see them passing this test. And well, they tried their best. They rolled a 10. Goes down to a 3, but that is broken. So they are destroyed. I think this is pretty much time over for the Anglo-Irish. I thought it was bad already, but this has just been a disaster. This left flank has just folded one after another after another. And I think that is it for the Scots turn. So let's have a recap what's going on. This unit is obviously going to retire off the table because it was part of the left wing command that's gone. You've got the dismounted, well, no, these are billmen here who have a whole army. Well, we've got men at arms there and 2 lots of Gallowglass plus some kerns backing them up. There's another fresh unit of Gallowglass. Well, not fresh, they're pretty battered, but they're coming back into the fight. You've got not much else on this side of the table. You've got the kerns here that retired previously. That's not going to hold that up. Meanwhile, you got the pikeman steamroller, and all we've got to deal with them is some mounted knights, which are not really the thing to go up against pikemen with. In here in the centre, the men at arms here are perfectly fresh, but they've lost their supports. Actually, is the central command okay? They've lost 1, 2. They lost the longbowmen. They've lost some crossbowmen. No, I think they've got these ones shaken. So it's 3 units. It has to be more than half. So I think that's half. So they're almost broken in the centre. Out here on the wing, the spearmen held their own against the men-at-arms, but well, they might turn that one around. They got a chance, possibly. And there's ongoing melee there, and really there's not much left. So we'll play the Anglo-Irish turn, but I think it's pretty much done. So we'll see what happens. Right, final throw of the dice for the Anglo-Irish side. Let's come across this side because it's probably the most happening turn. So what went on? The billmen that were here did an initiative charge into the dismounted sergeants, or men-at-arms. The 2 units of kerns that were back here, have moved up to support that attack. And Roger Mortimer himself has thrown himself into this melee. So he's going all out here for glory. The knights that were in the centre attempted to charge there. Unfortunately, they didn't get enough moves, and with the sunken road, they've only got to basically where they are now, which is a shame for the Anglo-Irish anyway. Over here in the centre, what happened? The sergeants that were here, were across the lane here, basically got 3 moves off and have charged into the flank of this melee. So that could be interesting. And the English commander moved here and rallied off one of the wounds off the sergeants, so they are no longer shaken. That's where it kind of all went good for the Anglo-Irish, because they attempted to what did I attempt to do? I've forgotten what the order was I attempted to do. Whatever it was, it failed, and the commander-in-chief is too far away to have any impact, so nothing moved on this flank at all, which is disappointing. So we'll start with the shooting over here first, though. Crossbowmen here will fire into those kerns across the way. 2 shots will be needing 5s. No damage. That's a melee. That's a melee. Actually, we'll do those while we're over here. Saves me dragging the camera around everywhere. So the Mongo melee here, we've got the 2 units of kerns. They have a sustained of 5. So pink dice for the Scots, pink dice for the English, red dice for the Scots. Both, it was an ongoing melee, neither side won it. So both needing 4s to hit. So the Scots do 3 hits and the English do 2 hits. So Scots are saving on 6s. They don't save either. And the English, because they still get the cover, so they will save on 5s. They don't save either. So the English lose by 1. They can get supports from these guys up here. See if that makes any difference. Two supports. Oh, and they're going to get supports as well. Dom, you're trying to rush it. The crossbowmen here give 2 supports to the kerns in the road. So it's 2 at 4s. Both hit. 4s to save. 1 save, 1 not. So it's another casualty on them. And then the kerns to the left of the Scottish kerns get 3 as well, hitting on 4s. They get 1, saving on 5, no. So, upshot that is 4 wounds on the Irish, Anglo-Irish, and 3 wounds on the Scottish kerns. That will shake the Anglo-Irish and pushes them 1 over their odds, 1 over their shake. The Scottish kerns are just about okay. So they win by 1. They rolled a 9. It's 1 off, which makes it an 8. Skirmishers, which they are, retreat, disordered. So they run away. So they'll hop back over the other side of the hedge there, I think, pretty much. And those fellas, actually the extra wound should go, extra wound they had should go onto their supports. With the crossbowmen on the hill. So that pulls away and they are disordered as well as shaken. And on 6 losses. Supports don't. Supports do need to do a test, I think, because they lost. They rolled a 10, so they are fine. So they stay locked in. All right. In the road here now, this is should be a good chance for the Anglo-Irish to sort of stem the tide. Oops, to stem the tide a bit. You've got the Scottish men-at-arms, they get 7 dice. They would be hitting on 3. They are shaken, so that makes it 4. They're also being hit in the flank, which makes it 5s. They roll 3 hits. They also are tough fighters. They get another one, 4 hits. Wow. 4 hits. The Anglo-Irish spearmen have 5 hits. They are not shaken. They are hitting on 4s. Absolutely nothing. Good grief. 3s and 2s. That's all they rolled. Their men-at-arms coming to support them and wondering why they're bothering. They get 7 dice. They are hitting on 3s. The lot. All 7 hits. So the Scottish took 7 hits. They are saving on a 4. They took 5 hits. 5 hits. Ouch. Just put that there so I remember. And the English spearmen took 4 hits. They're saving on 5s. They saved 2 of them, so they only take 2 losses themselves. So, upshot of this is obviously the Scottish lost. The English spearmen are now shaken because they are they took 2 casualties. They already had 5. So the extra one goes on to the English men-at-arms who came in the other side. The Scottish are 5 over. So they lost the melee by 3. No, they lost the melee by 2. But they have they are stubborn. Alright, so they're stubborn, and I forgot that man basically got 1 reroll. Which is probably not going to make much difference. However, it did pass it, so they only lost then 4 to 1. They only lost by 1 in the hand-to-hand. So they're doing a break test at -1. They rolled a 6, which goes to a 5. Retreat disordered. So the Scottish men-at-arms retreat back. I'd forgotten what Stubborn did. So that is that. Let's take the, start to use the dice because you get an awful lot of casualties with these rules. So they're on 6. They are shaken and disordered. Now the men-at-arms here can continue and follow up, so that's what they're going to do. because you're allowed to pursue into combat afterwards. It's not a it counts as them winning the previous round, basically. Right, so that is everything here. We've got no real shooting over here. It's all combat. It's all combat related. So over here, this is the all or nothing glory charge by the by Mortimer, Roger Mortimer, and his retinue, halberdiers, billmen. So the billmen get 7 dice. Plus you've got the Lordship himself, gives you 2 more dice. We'll come back to supports in a minute. They are charging, so they are hitting on 3s. Oops, 1 cocked dice there, right in the middle of a unit. Ooh, not so... no, that's lousy. Really aren't up for this, the English. They only got 4 hits. 4 hits on the Scottish men-at-arms. Oh, tell a lie. They're actually hitting on 2s because of they're fighting uphill. So they actually got another 1. They actually throw an awful lot of 1s there. So they got 5 hits on the men-at-arms. 5 hits on the Scottish men-at-arms. And then they also have support of 2 from here and 3 from behind. So 2 from the side hitting on 4s, that's 1 more hit, and then 3 from behind also hitting on 4s is 2 more hits. So in total the Scottish men-at-arms took 2, 4, 6, 8 hits. 8 hits. They are saving on a 4, and they also are stubborn, so they get to re-roll a miss. So they lost. Ooh, they only passed 3 there. The re-roll gives them another one, so that's 4. So they took 4 losses. The fight back against them, the Scots have 7 dice. First of all. And then they've got 3 from the side and 3 from behind. They are all hitting on 4s. Oh, sorry, it's just 2 from the side there. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 dice, all hitting on 4s. They are tough fighters, so they get 1 reroll. Doesn't make any difference. So exactly odds. They got 6 hits. 6 hits on the billmen. They are saving on 4s. 3 go through. 3 losses. So it means the Anglo-Irish win by 1. Neither side is tired or anything, sorry, shaken or anything. The Anglo-Irish already had 1 wound, so they're now on 4. And the Scots are also on 4. Scots lost the melee by 1, so it's a break test at -1. Oops. They rolled a 12. They are staying locked in. Now there is a risk to general, so if CF Mortimer is cleaved by a Scottish sword, no, he is not. So the upshot of that is the Anglo-Irish win that melee, and it will continue next turn. Right, so I've done the Scottish turn, and I think I'm going to call the game there. I think it's a resounding victory to the Scots. I won't play it out because it's just going to be bloody. So what happened? the Scottish kerns that were in there charged into the kerns that are retired. So they should beat those. They'll be supported by those behind. The small unit of sergeants charged through and has hit the crossbowmen on the hill here. They will get cover because they're in the wood line, but yeah, unless they can do some amazing work, it's going to be unlikely anything happens anything different. Over here on the hill, the Scottish men-at-arms have now got support from the bowmen who moved up, and also a unit of light cavalry have come round onto the flank as well. They did try and charge into the flank, but didn't manage to get enough moves to do so, but they're there to support. So that should stabilise there. Over here, the steamroller that is the Scottish pikemen have just come trundling down the road. The one negative was that the commander tried to rally off a casualty off the knights, but didn't manage to get the order off, so that was that. But over here, which is why I really think this game's finished, is the Gallowglass that were in here have swung into the flank of the Anglo-Irish billmen, and on the other side the kerns have run forward and hit the slinging kerns as well, and the knights have been blocked by yet another unit of Gallowglass. And if they do charge, which obviously they would try to, they'd like to get the pikemen in their flank as well. So I'm going to call it there. I think it's a pretty clear victory to the Scottish Irish. This right flank of theirs, oh, I haven't even moved the guys at the back, I forgot. This right flank was very, very powerful, probably too powerful for what they had to face in hindsight. But as I say, I didn't really point it up, I just laid out the troops as I thought would look fun. And really, those early engagements, the Anglo-Irish left wing came off very badly, and as a result never really stood much of a chance against this huge number of Gallowglass troops that were coming charging down that way. The pikemen never really did anything, but they just kept everyone's attention, which is often what they do. They're not terribly effective. However, one thing they are very effective against is receiving a cavalry charge. So yeah, that was where it all went wrong. And the centre kind of, yeah, that punch by the knights, and also, well, both knights, the men-at-arms, mounted men-at-arms and the dismounted men-at-arms, really caused havoc on this side of the table. And over here, it's just beginning to go the way of the Scots, but the English are in a bit of trouble. They've got two shaken units here. They've already lost a unit. They're probably going to lose the crossbowmen. So that's probably going to be this wing that's defeated as well. So there you go. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. It was only designed to be a Christmas game for me, to keep me busy while things were going on in the house, and could escape. As it was, I didn't manage to, so I'm now playing this through into early January. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. Do all those good things. I hope you had a great Christmas, and hope New Year is starting well for you. As you can probably tell, I've already got a cold, feeling a bit croaky, but what the heck, croaks aren't affected by dice rolls, or maybe they are. Anyway, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you all again. This is Dom signing out.